So after Need for Speed Unbound, I think this game is the game I am most looking forward to. Hogwarts Legacy looks so impressive, and we're about to see a gameplay showcase, the customization, actual exploration in Hogwarts. So very, very excited for this. Let's jump in. So if you guys didn't know, this is set in the 1800s, and it's obviously before the Harry Potter events. And here is where you get to create your character. If you guys want more Hogwarts Legacy on this channel, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know, subscribe. I would love to cover this game before, during, after release. $1,000,000%. Initially, I really like the customization here. It sounds really weird, but they look like children. That sounds really weird. But yeah, they look realistic. They look like they've been to Hogwarts. I love the dress sense as well. It feels like 1800s. This is going to be, I'm really excited for this game. I know that there's a little bit of controversy about obviously it being a J.K. Rowling game. Obviously Harry Potter is J.K. But I don't want to just demise the whole game because of the world she built. This is a creation from Warner Brothers, incredibly talented team. Just want to enjoy the game, and yeah, that's enough of that. Oh, we can wear Harry Potter glasses. Okay, of course. There seems to be tons and tons of customization, loads of different face shapes. Obviously, there's presets there as well, so you can just select a preset, you can not bother that customization. Also, I believe I heard you can, in-game, go back and sort of change the character a little bit as well. So it's not locked in, which is nice. Actual in-game footage. When is it coming out, this game? I forgot to check. Let's have a look. I think it's February. February of next year. Yeah, 10th of February. That is beautifully timed. So obviously we get all the buzz of like a Need for Speed Unbound. There's a few games coming out in December. And in January, it's a bit slow. And in February, hits. And we get Hogwarts Legacy. So excited for this game. Oh, I love it. Glasses look good. Could maybe argue it would be nice if there's a few more options. But I do like them. Harry Potter-esque. Okay. I must admit, I want to get into the game now. I was looking for a Harry Potter scar, but they're not doing it. They're not brave enough. Understandable. A little cut on the nose, potentially. Should we skip further forward? We should. Eyebrow shape. They're really touching massively on the customization here. All right, we're about to hear
and then this final tab
the voices.
Here, this is where you customize everything. You're not choosing your house here. Okay. That's not yet.
Not choosing your house yet?
Theory.
But you know, here's where you bring you choose voice 1 or voice 2, which is more kind of a masculine or a feminine voice, and then even within that, changing your pitch, the
nice.
pitch slider.
It's a subtle slider, but you can hear it.
That was quite something.
And so you can kind of make out the differences. But yeah, you choose which kind of voice that you want. You'll be selecting your difficulty here. For today, we'll just go normal because Andrew's going to be taking us through some of the experiences with combat later.
And we can talk a little more about difficulty, yeah, with combat and how that plays in. But I think the important thing here is like if for people who aren't gamers, especially, story mode is a way to get into this without being worried about like, oh, do I need to be good?
Of course, there's going to be a lot of
No,
players
just enjoy
that
this
maybe
game.
don't play games on the daily, so I think story mode is essential for this game.
And
Need
then,
a name? I'll probably just go
what
for
do you
my
want?
name. I'm so boring in that sense.
What do you think, character creator? We're good.
I'm good. Let's
All right, there we go.
Hogwarts and let's get into some combat.
All
Oh, is that the
Through
collector's
magic
edition
of,
in the middle on that
using a
table?
dev kit, we're going to be loading up.
I think I've pre-ordered one.
save
I
a
can't
little
remember which
later
one I
in,
got now.
so that we
have a
can
look.
show you more about Hogwarts and give you that taste of combat. Andrew's got some
Boring.
gameplay pulled up for us here. We are starting out, James. There you are. You're wearing the House Fanatic robes from the account linking.
Thank you. I do look good. And this is our first look at the Hufflepuff common room, I'm assuming. I mean, dorm room.
The dorm room.
Yeah. This is awesome. But Alan, what are we seeing right here with the UI? Because this is our first look.
Yeah. So
First look
right
at
now,
UI,
we know there's been a
by
lot
the
of
way.
questions about the HUD because this is the first time we're showing it. So kind of going over it from right to left, on the bottom right is what we call our spell diamond. So those are, everything that you see in it are slottable spells. So we have over 20 slottable spells that you can
So that's
earn over the
R2.
course of the game.
Okay.
And that's where the player can place them and use them and access them very quickly. To the top left of that is, you'll see the D-pad, and on the left is an eyeball, and on the right is a bit of a grid. So the eyeball is an example of one of, not a slottable spell, but what we call an essential spell. There are certain spells that are used in very specific contexts, or that we just want on the controller at all times, and Revelio is one of those. That's left on the D-pad. On the right on the D-pad is that grid represents where you might slot spells. And so right now, today, we're not going to be going into the spell slotting menu because we feel like there's a lot of spoilers there, you know, like what are all the spells and what can we do?
I would like spoilers, but I understand.
But we do want to make sure there's still some goodies left to share with everyone. And then on the left side, that thing that has the L1 button next to it, that's another thing where we don't want to spoil, but basically that's where you access your tool wheel. So there's a lot of magical tools that you're going to be kind of brewing and growing over the course of the game. So that's where you would access them rapidly, is our tool wheel.
Okay, cool.
There are a few things that I left off the table on the right. The green bar is your health, and basically there's a potion next to it. That's how you might heal. The bar above it, we're keeping a secret for now. I apologize. And all the way on the left is our mini-map with a kind of overhead view of where you are currently in your common room that updates as you travel through Hogwarts and beyond out into the world. And for those fans out there that aren't a huge fan of mini-maps, because we know they exist, there's also options to remove the mini-map and turn on or off different elements of our HUD.
But really immerse yourself.
And we'll go more into the spells as we get into combat, but that's kind of, that's what you're seeing there. And this is our HUD.
Also, Andrew's giving us a good look over here. I want to call out. I'm a big fan of the bedside tables in the dormitories. Very nice bedside tables.
They are nice bedside
What is on that table?
The honey-colored
clearly see a book,
mentioned in the writing. It's part of lore.
It's part of lore. There we go. All right.
So now we're walking out into...
I wonder what those essential spells are.
We really tried making these low-ceilinged dorms to give you that Badger set.
What are they?
Sort of feel.
And the first thing
What's that on the right?
The music. The score is amazing with this.
Gorgeous.
And I'm calling out here, this is unique music that you're hearing for the Hufflepuff Common Room. Go back to those Common Room videos we released, you'll notice the music's a little bit different, and that is entirely intentional.
I feel like Gryffindor is the most predictable one to go for.
To your common room in every single house. Just
so I'm not going for someone different.
Begin customizing that experience right away.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Look at that.
That is
Beautiful
incredible.
design. We could spend
so
like
good.
the entire rest of the stream just in the common room here and talking about it, and I'm sure Boston and James could be like just geeking out over it.
All the details come from J.K. Rowling's writings for this common room. The round doors, the hanging vines, even the dancing badgers on the fireplace.
It's got a real earthy vibe.
It's very, very earthy.
Which is like elements for each of the houses, right?
Hufflepuff is earth, Ravenclaw's air, Gryffindor is fire, and Slytherin is water. We really leaned into that for each common room.
Wow.
So it feels earthy. We've got a little earthen passageway. That's what we were. Hopefully, it should feel very familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But I know
one of the houses are going to be similar to the films and the books in terms of obviously Slytherin being the bad guys.
Whoa, the sound effects though. Like, looking back at the past trailers, it was just music, but kind of hearing how Hogwarts is now, it's so cool.
Very tactile.
Andrew's going to make use of one of our spells, Revelio.
Ooh, what's this?
Use Revelio right here, because there's a little magic going on.
You notice a little something.
I saw that. Okay.
Yeah. So, these are something that we kind of interchangeably call Revelio pages or lore pages. And you'll notice a bunch of things pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
You see that we got some XP for it. And you can also see that we've advanced something called like a field guide challenge up in the corner. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So
this is literally the beginning of the game. I think it might be. Might be.
Continue, I'm sorry.
There may be something you may or may not be able to tickle there. But in our game, we had to answer the question, we're a late fifth year. What does that mean? How do we catch up to the other students?
Okay.
And so we have an answer to that question, and it's given to you by the staff. So there's something that we call the Wizard's Field Guide that's granted to you early on in the game. And the Wizard's Field Guide is how you actually work on catching up with the other students. So Andrew, if you hit pause for me up here.
Do we know why we're coming late?
Forward a little bit. You can see in our pause menu, it's got this book
really late.
Wow.
That's your Wizard's Field Guide, and you can see your house kind of crest overlaid over it. Right? And you can see that on your level as well.
I like.
So that the Field Guide has this magical property of looking out into the world around you. And the reason why it's on loan from the Ministry of Magic and the professors that granted it to you as a late 5th year student is because they want it to help you catch up to the other kids. And its magical property is to discover different opportunities to learn and grow all around you. So the way it works is, as you discover gameplay in the game, it actually recognizes that as a challenge, which is kind of locked into there. And Andrew, if you go in there, you'll see different types of challenges that are combat challenges, quest challenges, exploration challenges, and you can see field guide pages are on there as well.
So 1%. We unlocked that one field guide page.
That entire category is one of the ways that the book itself kind of fills out into the school and spills out into the school and kind of hides itself with different types of challenges and different things to do around the school that you're actually going to interact with
activities
help
to
you
try
grow
and
as a wizard
advance
and practice
yourself
your
to be
spells.
in
And
line
so that thing
with
that we
year
just saw
5.
is not just a field
Makes
guide
sense.
challenge and a way to earn XP. It's also something that that players can use to learn about the school as they're traveling around. They spot these little secret facts and they can kind of play a little bit of a game discovering all of them. And there are over 100 field guide pages just in Hogwarts alone.
I'm gutted it wasn't coming out this year. I so badly wanted to do this.
Circular staircase.
All the
match the tower.
portraits.
Yeah.
And I did notice the flute flame
there.
just ignite right there, which was so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Fast travel points
Look
there.
at this, man.
House hourglasses. We had to. How much fun was it designing those and putting all those in
they're
there?
gorgeous,
but
that they're there just like in the books.
Yes.
Right
It's
next
a
to
nod
the
to
Great
lore.
Hall.
it's a nod
Yeah.
to lore. House points is not a core mechanic or system in the game.
We
It
didn't
is
turn it into
narratively.
like a gameplay system, but it's definitely present throughout our narrative. And there are lots of choices where we want to nod to things that aren't necessarily gameplay systems, but we nod to them as part of the narrative.
Over to the right
Part of the
there,
wizard.
and
So the
was
points
teasing,
aren't
that's
really a part of the
Great
narrative,
Hall
the main
over through
story,
those doors.
but
Again, we're not
they're
going
there,
there.
if that makes
He's
sense.
just kind of
Okay.
like, no.
Cool.
There's a page there.
Here's another collectible page. You know, just again showing you like just these things around Hogwarts that you can
I've got 2.
do and pick up and.
That's a
Good
shot
job.
straight from the trailer too. Just that part right there. I recognize
We
that.
might be giving you a little fan service here with callbacks to those. So,
And this must be summertime because I noticed these are the summertime windows. These windows will change with the seasons.
Yeah, the detail they put into this
nice.
is kind of, I get surprised by it all the time.
That's a
even know that was a
sentient
thing.
magic castle. So.
Oh man. And we're going out.
It's a very good showcase.
Look
They're really
at
going in
that.
depth.
This is where the students would
This is
normally
why
kind
you're
of
going to experience the
congregate
game
just
when you
to
guys
kind of chill
play it
out,
for the first
play,
time.
meet each other outside the Great Hall before and after meals.
I wonder how big it is as well. Is
I
it
love the
literally
way
the
that
whole
when
of
the
Hogwarts?
castle interconnects to that it interconnects outside, inside. There are pathways on both sides of things, so you really get a sense of scope to how big this castle is.
And when you see things like you'll notice a bridge over there. That's a place you can go to and cross. Like everything that you see is a place that you can visit.
Wow.
We tried
Okay.
we put a lot of effort in making it feel really alive. Not just with student population, but even just the greenery and stuff. It's Scotland.
Yeah.
And this castle's been here for hundreds of years. So just kind of the moss and all the trees that have overgrown it and
Oh my gosh.
that
What's these
landscape. That's
chests?
Scottish.
They could
might look a little
potentially
familiar
be
to you.
I thought I recognized
on the
it.
bridge
I
or
believe
underneath
this
the
is
bridge?
from the Spring ASMR, and yes, so that puzzle right there, that view, Andrew is taking us right back to
I am
that.
going to tell Andrew not to interact with that puzzle and to keep moving on. We can't spoil everything. We can't give you everything, right?
Hogwarts
So-
contains a lot of secrets.
I bet it does.
Oh my God.
I
But
bet.
this is this grand entryway right here coming down into
Do you see any more? Please show more. Okay,
a
good.
really kind of central area.
Yeah, we're coming upon the central hall, and we pointed out the greenhouse outside, and we'll notice when we get down there that it's on the right.
This is a big hub of the school. Like it's a big castle, but it is designed so you shouldn't get very lost. This is kind of a grand central station.
I love
that
that. I love
each
that.
direction, it's green over there, so the greenhouse is over there.
Bless me,
Transfiguration Courtyard, the library straight ahead. So it's kind of the hub
Good eye.
Oh my
of a
God.
lot of the castle.
Even the color visually, you can just tell, okay, green,
incredible.
Green go that way.
Oh my God.
A lot of it'll be subconscious, but it'll help you really learn the castle and feel like you know
A
your
field
way
manual?
around.
That's not to say that it's easy to learn. All of us here still get pretty lost in it
It
on a
is a
daily
castle.
basis. It's a castle. It's
Great point.
I love that Andrew's definitely teasing a lot of things here. I'm noticing he's swinging the camera this way and that.
Yeah.
He's got this grin on his face over there that's just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm
from the reveal trailer. There's that dragon. Oh my gosh.
This is another location where the students will gather, you know, and just kind of chill out.
And an opportunity to talk to somebody, get a quest giver here.
Okay. Nelly.
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nelly, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Moll, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
More of a hint of what maybe you can do.
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Optional dialogue as well. Yeah. Mass Effect style.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do.
Okay.
In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them.
So it's kind of side quests are really, it's a cool way to interact with your fellow students, with perhaps other teachers, with various things like that, as well as teach you some more of the secrets of Hogwarts. I think there's a little bit of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the students are a way to kind of like flesh out the school opportunities around it, what we can do, and then those interactions. Different interactions with different characters can also offer different choice points for the player. And then some of those things can affect things game-wide. Some of these affect characters' lives, the ending of the game.
And sometimes it's just about you being a little bit of a nice guy or just being a jerk.
Yes, absolutely. So the scale really varies, but those opportunities exist for the player.
Wow, look at this.
I'm really tempted to join Slytherin. Let me know what house you guys are going to join when this game comes out.
This is one of my favorite locations in the castle. Just visually, you come in here and just the richness of this area.
Very iconic, very unique to.
There's so much to like, so many places to go, interact with.
Notably, a younger student.
Yeah, she looks like a first year,
she's really young.
An 11-year-old.
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak. The girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Like from a horror film.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Oh, lovely. Sounds like school.
I haven't much interest in a game that sprays you with odors.
Only if you lose, which I never do. Or at least, not often. People can be
I love
so
how they
cruel.
sound all very posh, don't they?
Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Sounds like the overreact.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet.
Are you hinting at something?
Someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
Wow. You don't have any friends? A bit direct.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
Well, good for
I
you.
love that interaction with her because there's so many ways that you can go with that. You can you can feel for her. You can be a jerk to her. You can be like, Gobstone sounds awful. It sounds like you're just mean.
Yeah, and your opportunities to be mean there aren't over. So,
they continue.
That's a good
And if you're a
example of,
Slytherin, you might want to act like a bit
Gobstones,
arsey.
too. I know people are going to ask, Gobstone's playable? They mentioned it, right?
Yeah. Gobstones is one of the things that is not playable in the game. I know we've had to rip the Band-Aid off on a few things. Honestly, it's an amazing thing on the franchise how many things about this like speak to us as fans and that we want to turn into gameplay. And there were calls that we had to make over the course of production of kind of like which things we will and won't include in the packet, just kind of for the overall
Wizard's
Really
Chest.
Those are things that aren't featured.
Yeah. They're featured within the world. Right?
I'm glad they mentioned they're a part of the wizarding world.
Yeah. Every single time there was something that we regretted because we couldn't include it. We also tried to figure out a way to make sure that it was included in the narrative, included in the stories, make sure that there's a way to kind of like acknowledge it, touch it, and make it feel like it's definitely part of the world.
And I know here too, we're
if it does well, we can get some DLC potentially.
I'm like, we're in
game,
Defense Against the Dark Arts Pass. I
who knows?
recognize that staircase to the left where we were just at. Andrew was walking by. I also recognize the dragon at the very top. Oh my gosh.
Being in a classroom, I think this is a good opportunity to talk about how classes work because we've gotten a lot of questions about that.
I love the callbacks to obviously the films as well and the books.
So tell us how classes work.
Yeah, so ultimately decided not to go
skeleton's
the
been there for a
sim
very
route.
long time,
So
apparently.
I think like one of the speculations was, is there time of day and that kind of thing. Like, can I miss class at this time of day?
There is a day-night cycle.
Yeah, there is a day-night cycle, but everything is very narrative-based, and so there's a big mystery going on in the world. There's something happening in the narrative, and we essentially see it as kind of like chapters in that narrative. Each chapter of which has a set of missions that you can choose between as you're progressing through the game, and classes fit within that structure. So there are mainline things that the players have to do, and then classes also appear on the sides as well as optional things that help you advance your spells. It's absolutely true that classes provide all of your major tools throughout the gameplay, your spells, your major abilities. You get to know the professors.
It's a little bit
Each
different.
one of them has these bespoke
interwoven within the story
and those missions. And then
there's
there are
optional
also
bits as
additional
well.
opportunities outside of that through kind of like side classroom missions, essentially, where you can learn additional spells or things that you need in your adventure and also get to know the professors better.
And I just want to call out something that Andrew's been kind of showing off, ways to kind of interact with the environment and just engage with the world. And, maybe down there who's sipping some tea with the
Victorian high
society.
High society.
I just no wonder you like this area because we built it for like the purebloods and the Slytherins.
Oh, come on.
Well, like, speaking of lived in, like, the sound effects again, the chatter of the communication that's happening and the footsteps, like, just makes it feel more alive.
Little events like that, the brooms going
I
by
just saw
overhead.
a broom go by.
That was cool.
Love that.
So well timed, like it was planned.
The data tower was one example, but no two hallways should look the same in Hogwarts. It has a lot of personality. Every hallway should be a little bit different, and that's mostly to help orient the player, help you not get lost. But this is Hesperus Hall. That's a little nod from the Marauders, a name that came from the Marauders map. But every hallway will have a little bit of a different personality and
personality. I like that because
it
is
does,
like a plan for a
Hogwarts
sequel.
has
Would
character.
they do it
Hogwarts
like
is
50
its own
years into the
character, no matter
future,
where
or
you go.
could it be
just a
your
little bit
character's
different.
son or
Sentient castle
daughter?
full of magic for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's going to kind of
And
grow
full
and
of,
develop. Oh, I heard something.
Yeah. Speaking of characters.
Speaking of magic,
What the hell?
Mr. Magic himself.
Might feature a poltergeist too.
We talked about building on lore too. I know there's that statue over to the side. That's
Do you know who that is?
Lachlan the Lanky,
Yeah,
and he's got his Bowtruckle friend. And I think if players don't know, there's another Revelio page there.
Yeah, there's a map of Argyllshire. We know the fat lady hides there.
Hides behind it. That's right.
The third book. But sometimes a hallway has personality by how it looks, or we just passed a music hallway where the portraits have kind of taken it over, and so the sound makes it really unique.
All right, I got to call this out here. I know there's been some criticism in the past that our trailers and our gameplay and what we've shown so far has not had enough owls. Okay, so here we are. at
Not
the
enough
owlry.
owls.
We're
Where's
looking
the
directly
owls?
at the owlry to show you all of the owls.
It's a lot of owls.
It's a lot of owls at the owlry.
I love
all
the
owls.
fog rolling down that.
Great callback. Great call.
But no, I also love that as I one of my favorite things about just kind of going around on the outside of the school is that all those things that I see are places that I can go to, that I can visit. I just love that sensation knowing
so
that
Game
that
feels
will-
Lovely
massive.
Scottish countryside.
We're kind of closing out our mini
Is it me, or
tour
do I
of Hogwarts. And
occasionally
again,
see a bit of lag?
but
I don't know.
Of
I'm getting
this
paranoid.
enormous castle. But we're closing it out here in the clock tower. So another recognizable location.
Yeah.
But this is where Crossed Wands, which is the secret, not so secret dueling club is that the students have put together. Professors definitely know about it, but they think they're being clever. And it's run by this Lucan Brattleby here.
who's in
We
a
have a
younger
duel
year.
right now.
But we kind of like that that he's running things.
So I think of a
Lucan.
spell.
May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to
Oh,
have a
thank you
try
very
now?
much. Yes. Are we going to see it?
That would be
Against the
wonderful.
dummy,
Be
but
sure
still.
to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
And this is a really good opportunity to now jump into combat, because really in the game, this is going to be the first time where you yourself get to learn about combat and combos
this
in a big
is
way and in a new way. For me personally,
L2
this is
and
where the
then
game
down
like,
or
really
X, I guess?
starts to open up to the possibilities.
Yeah. So we've set up a training dummy, and this is kind of an activity where you're supposed to execute according to kind of the iconography on the top. Now, what we see on the top is the Accio spell, followed by 4 what we just kind of lovingly refer to as basic shots. There's certain spells what the wizards kind of like use, just kind of fling. Andrew's using one now.
Did it not work?
And you trigger that by tapping R2 on your controller. So you can see in the corner R2. So if you tap R2, that throws out a basic shot. But that R2 is
so
also your
just tap it.
gateway to all of the spells that you might slot. So if you hold R2 instead, you can see how the diamond expands. And if we let go, you see how it contracts.
Yeah.
And so if you hold it again, it expands. And so when it expands, then all the spells that you slotted while you're holding that button can now be tapped with your face buttons.
Awesome.
And not only that, but over the course of the game, you can gain additional spell diamonds, up to 4 additional ones, so that you can slot up to 16 spells, pretty much instantly. And then that helped us fulfill the fantasy of in combat, I need to be able to access things very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so you learn over the course of these events, how to juggle not just the spell casting, but also it reinforces an understanding of another feature of the wheel, which is the cooldowns. So as you're casting spells, just to make sure that you're not just kind of like repeatedly using one thing over and over and over again, you can see cooldowns on the spells that he's using on the wheel.
Leviosa.
And
Yes.
as you progress through the game, there are different things that can affect things, like cooldowns through your talents, different things that allow you to kind of like juggle and adjust and update those things.
So he's holding
So
right
if you
trigger
hold down
triangle,
R2
and then just
you
tapping
tap the
the right
D-pad, it will
trigger.
switch between your other
then obviously
diamonds
right
if you've
trigger
unlocked
X.
them. And that's
Done
how
it
you
wrong.
access all those.
Oh,
What a noob.
man. It looks like we're about to get some action over here.
Yeah.
This dummy's getting
So
wrecked.
this is a great way to kind of learn how to pull things together,
So you
combinations.
pull those
Leviosa
combos
right
together.
Here. Yeah. Tap, Accio, tap, tap, tap. Awesome.
Damn. Okay.
And that's just against the dummy.
Poor
but I
dummy.
mean,
I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you,
Thank
Lucan.
you.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
I think now we can take on something a little more challenging. It's going to shoot back.
Now let's talk about some more features of the combat system.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another
like this.
round?
What if there's like
PS5
a
dev kit here,
deflect?
so we're going to be able to kind of
deflect.
pause the action
Yeah.
and talk about what you're seeing on the screen, because there is about to be a lot going on.
Okay.
All right, here
So
you
we're gonna get a
can
dueling
select
partner. There's
if
two
you want to fight
options.
with somebody else, some of your
of the other
classmates.
students.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're not. We want that action to feel a little more frantic towards you to really get you that sense of combat.
So apparently you've got quite the reputation because they've got you up against 3 people.
Yeah.
What the?
The jump.
How's that fair? 3
so
versus 1.
I can explain this just because I know people are going to go into it, but we can probably just kind of jump in. So you're not the only one that has Protego and the ability to deflect. The enemies do too. And we actually play with that when it comes to the spell casting. So you notice that there are different colored kind of shields around the different characters. And you also notice that your spells have different colors on them. So to help players understand kind of like the function of their spells, we're trying to put them into brackets. So there are damage spells, there are force spells, there are, I'm forgetting the other one, all this control spells. And so those things for the player, they wind up also being a color indicator for which actual spells to use to break the different shields that enemies can use. That way it rewards kind of like that close attention that you're paying.
There's the one around the head.
We got this paused here now, and you can kind of see all the elements on the screen, the halo around the avatar's head, each of the different shields, to kind of give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Give us a breakdown of different things that you're saying. So you notice at the top that we're kind of like calling out which enemy you currently have targeted and their level and health. And so, you know, as you target different characters, you'll be able to get that breakdown. The halo over your head, whenever an enemy is about to an attack, it's almost like you have a little bit of a sixth sense for those things that are coming. If you see the halo, it means there's an incoming attack, and if you tap the triangle button by default, then that you'll be able to deflect that attack that comes in and off with Protego.
And I love that deflect where it goes off and like hits things up and kind of breaks things off walls too.
But also, if you hold the button, then it doesn't just deflect. It also deflects and turns around with a counter attack stupefy that actually stuns the enemy. And you can use that even in your combos and stuff. So if you're focused on a character, you know, and you're doing your thing, and someone else attacks you, you can actually turn that attack into a direct attack on the person that you're comboing.
Back into gameplay here. Andrew's gonna pretty handily finish these
like Harry
other
Potter
students off here. Win this duel.
Fuck the duel, I like.
It's like a dance.
So the environment is definitely going to be key.
Yeah, we really felt like in the movies, there's almost like a.
That is sweet. It looks good fun, actually.
There's this element of kind of like fencing from a very great distance.
That's such a good call.
And there are a lot of things that we had to do with our controls and combat system in order to kind of capitalize on that idea that's pretty unique to the Wizarding world.
Understandable.
Well, perhaps you should try that next time. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then.
All right.
The next round is for all the gobstones.
We're going to see any more gameplay? Or does it stop? I think it's going for a little bit longer. We might have another 3 minutes,
more or less
maybe.
Wrap it up for us for now, for what we wanted to show you. Character creator, tour of Hogwarts, and just that little taste of combat. But we didn't want to leave you without maybe a little taste of something that we may show in the future, may show next time. You know, so leaving the castle, going out here.
Famous bridge.
More owls.
That's where the owls are.
Owl mail. There's the owlry again. Yes, all of the owls.
I love how that's a criticism.
But yeah, just
Where's
heading out
the
here
owls?
again to
There's
show
not
you
enough.
like from Hogwarts to the world beyond Hogwarts. And this is not somewhere where we're going today, but we will definitely be taking you in the future.
If you gave me this game as a kid, I would have flipped out.
The scale of the castle back there.
Absolutely flipped.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that you've seen. But I think, James, you may have a few other questions here at the end of things. So while we're done with what we're showing on the gameplay side, I know there's a few things that you want.
I think we'll leave it there. I think we've seen the gameplay. That's what we want to see. Yes, I've actually got the collector's edition. So I've got that floating wands there. And I get 3 days early access. I can actually play on the 7th of February. So I get to play the game a little bit early, and I get the floating wand. I mean, I'm very lucky. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. Let me know if you guys want me to do more videos on this game. I would 100% be down. I'm so excited for this game. Again, after Need for Speed, this is the game I'm most excited for. See you guys soon, and bye-bye.